everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in to my channel. Here is the project that I have been currently working on. Now, what happens usually when I start a project, I usually intend for it to be very simple and easy to complete. But as I find, I have to keep tweaking things and making adjustments. And, well, I end up with some monstrosity that looks kind of like this. And it really does become a mess. This project, which I won't explain, is using a 555 timer. And I'm using it in astable mode to create a series of pulses, which infinitely continues to pulse so long as the power is on. But also, I have another 555 timer circuit, which I'm using in monostable mode. So there's no push button. It's actually triggered by, well, it's actually triggered by this 555 timer circuit in astable. So every time it receives a pulse from that 555 timer, in a roundabout way, it ends up triggering this 555 timer hooked up in monostable mode. So basically, it gets a signal and then it sends out a pulse for a period of time. And there's a reason why I set this circuit up to do that. And I probably will make a video on this monstrosity later. But in the process of creating this circuit, I ended up building two 555 timer circuits on breadboards. So this is actually a 555 timer circuit hooked up in monostable, and this is a circuit hooked up in astable, a continuous set of pulses. So rather than just tear them apart and put all the parts back where they belong, I thought, well, I might as well make a video since they're already pre-built. Now, I suppose it would be helpful if I created a tutorial which demonstrated how to hook these up. I won't really do that, but I will provide a circuit diagram. So this is just what I pulled off of the internet on a Google image search. And this is a very basic drawing of astable. Astable just meaning that it continues to pulse so long as the chip is receiving power. It'll just continue to create a pulse. PWM signal, I guess. Anyway, I'm not going to try and re-explain how a 555 timer works, but kind of the essence of it is this discharge pin here. And you create a voltage divider, and I guess the chip works kind of like a comparator between this pin and what? This pin maybe? I better research that before I make a video about it. But the voltage divider is going to create two different voltage levels. And then what's the other pin here? Pin 3 is, well, anyway, excuse me, pin 3 is the output pin. If you want to send that signal out to another circuit or something, that's what the output pin is for. But if you want to adjust and play around with this resistor here and this capacitor here, you can adjust the length and duration of the pulses that the timer will provide. Now this extra circuit which I drew here is for a project I'm creating. And I basically needed a little blip signal coming off pin 3, which is the output pin. And I didn't want a long pulse. I just wanted a quick blip, and that was it as the output signal. So hooking up a capacitor, in my case a 47 microfarad, which I was powering a relay, having a 10K resistor after it, kind of achieved that. Now I won't go into explaining that, but here I have it hooked up, the astable circuit hooked up, and pretty much exactly like you see in this diagram. Yeah, so these are really the two values to play around with if you're trying to achieve a certain length of pulse. This 10K resistor is this here, so I made it adjustable, and I can change the pulse rate. Okay, so it's working. I've got it hooked up to this relay on pin 3. And if I adjust the 10K potentiometer, I can slow down the pulses. Speed it up. Goes really fast. Unfortunately, the voltage I'm supplying to the circuit is not enough to really power this relay quick enough. I'll have to turn up the power. Well, anyway, this is a 555 timer circuit hooked up in astable mode. Now I will proceed to show you monostable. Now don't be confused by this circuit diagram because it does look like the last one, but this one is monostable, the 555 timer in monostable. In other words, basically just sending out a pulse of a short duration and then it stops. This circuit diagram I found just by searching for 555 timer in monostable. When I typed that into the Google image search, this is just a sample diagram that somebody had. And I was a little confused at first because there was no value for this resistor here, nor was there a value for this capacitor. And I think that's really kind of good that whoever created this circuit diagram did not include those values, because these are values you can adjust yourself, which will effectively change the duration of the output signal coming off of pin. Well, anyway, sorry, I'm not going to completely explain all the pinouts on a 555 timer, but I do have these circuits set up just to show. All right, so here's the push button here. That's a 100 microfarad capacitor. And this big honky thing, this is up to 47K, and it's just basically one big resistor. And I have this because it was from another project. Didn't quite work out with this. All this is a variable potentiometer. Well, 3 of them actually, hooked in series. But anyway, this is a 555 timer in monostable mode. Try to contain your excitement. Here's going to push the button. And again, I've got the output pin, which is like pin 3 or something, hooked up to a relay. The relay is getting its own power from the power supply and ground. I guess I can adjust the resistance value and try to reduce the pulse. More resistance, I can go. Oh no, I actually increase the duration of the pulse. So if I want to make. Okay, thanks for watching.